From United Nations Television, this is UN in Action.
Lucas Maseko used to dream of owning his own farm, and when the apartheid regime in South Africa fell in 1994, his dream finally came true. At first, things went well for Lucas on his farm.
I used to pick up my truck with pumpkins and go to the highway to sell them. The drivers would stop and buy them.
But in 2008, his troubles started as the abandoned coal mine adjoining his farm restarted operations, shattering not only Lucas's tranquility, but also his dream. As the mine's blast to access the coal seams, dense clouds of choking dust smother everything in their path, like this blast caught by an amateur filming close by. Lucas's house is now so damaged, he and his wife can't live in it.
The noise is very loud and the house is cracked. The whole house shakes.
And his crops and half his cows have died, he believes, from the coal dust and the polluted groundwater. Water from the mines has seeped into his water supply, leaving it undrinkable.
We're heading for a catastrophe in the future.
Terence McCarthy, professor of geology at Wits University in Johannesburg, says that the water affected by coal mining is toxic and a grave threat to the health and livelihoods of not just Lucas, but to millions of South Africans. The entire country's future water supply, he says, is now in jeopardy.
So we are destroying the ecology of our river system, and there's nothing we can do about it, except stop mining.
But many argue that South Africa's mining sector is essential, as coal is a critical source of both export income and employment. 90% of the country's electricity supply comes from the burning of coal. So mitigation efforts are underway in South Africa to clean up the impact of coal mining.
Quite simply, any water is treatable. It's never too late. There's always something you can do about the situation.
At Maleleni Water Reclamation Plant, run by Anglo-American Mines, Peter Gunther designed a system to counteract the environmental pollution from mining, the first of its kind in the world. Now, 30 million liters of contaminated water from 3 of their mines are treated per day and turned into drinking water for the local community.
I do believe this is a sustainable model going forward into the future that people can replicate.
And United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon believes the same, hailing this water conservation effort as one of 7 global projects which successfully combat the negative impacts of climate change. But while experts recognize this is a step in the right direction, for Lucas and his wife, the pollution is so bad they feel they have no option but to leave and start the farm elsewhere.
The mine must pay me. I can't stay here.
Many scientists and activists are calling for a complete halt to mining until an effective and economically viable solution to the contamination can be found. They believe that protecting the world's water resources is not a choice. It's an imperative for people everywhere. This report was produced by Jill Fickling for the United Nations.